Today is July 5th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClavesOnline.com. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey and Rammer.
Hey, buddy.
We're once again in person.
How about that?
Doing a show together, I believe, for the fourth time that we've done so this year. That's because I'm right next door. I wanted to go check out the Rawlings Experience, take my kid there for
Which is
his
a lot
birthday.
of fun for baseball fans, the Rawlings Experience. It's really a fun deal. You should try it.
Yeah, so we were going to go over there real quick, celebrating my kid's 11th birthday today.
Good spot.
And realized, hey, the Rawlings Experience right next to you guys here at the Big 550.
Mhm.
So figured we should stop in
It
and do
all
a show
worked
together.
out.
Yeah,
All worked out.
it did. It all worked out, and it just kind of came to me just like that. But we're going to talk Cardinals and Nats. They start a 4-game wraparound series tonight. Cardinals took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Easily could have had all 3, and we talked about before the 7-game series or road trip started, 5-2 would have been very, very good. Cardinals still stand to do that.
Could still do it.
Yeah, the 2 extra inning games. No, you really didn't force much extra pitching in those games either. So you still come in somewhat fresh for this series.
I'm gonna the freshness factor concerns me. They just don't have enough offense to have a cushion game.
Right.
Every game, and now it's exciting for fans, but it's not exciting for a manager trying to run a bullpen.
Yeah, and we saw the last 2 days, no Ryan Helsley. He didn't pitch when it was a tie game in extra innings.
Which is the way to do it.
And we talked about this. If he's going to be your 9th inning save guy,
that's what you do.
Then you are only pitching him in save situations.
Mhm.
So that's what they decided to do. And then yesterday, it was a safe situation, but they kept the ball in John King's hands.
And they said, let's get it done that way. And now he should be fresh for at least 2 of the 3 in Washington.
It was. So I don't know if you heard Ollie's comments after the game on what was today's Wednesday's game after the extra inning loss, when Ollie said, hey, there's going to be times where guys aren't available. Other guys have to step up.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if last night was just a case of, you know what he said, though, he made those comments on Tuesday. He had another opportunity on Wednesday, and he was just saying, you know what, guys, hey, somebody else has to go finish a ball game and get us the final out. And that was why he left John King in.
You have to do whatever you can to win today, but you can't ignore tomorrow. That's big league baseball. Win today, do what you can, but you have to keep in focus what's coming up tomorrow and the next day and even the next day. That has to be a part of your decision making and what has happened before. The last couple of days before these games, while it may be the only game you go to as a fan, these games are not in a vacuum for those playing them.
The Cardinals did make a move pitching wise today. They optioned Jacob Bosakovic back down to AAA. They brought Chris Roycroft up. So Roycroft is just kind of being circled back and forth.
The 8th man in the bullpen.
Pretty much, yeah. And I think at this point we're up to like 9-10 guys in the bullpen with some of the other names that we have seen here lately. But that is a name that will be in D.C. for the Cardinals this weekend. As we mentioned, 4-game series against the Nats. One guy that we get to watch this weekend, James Wood, the top prospect in the Nationals organization, one of the top prospects in all of baseball, was just called up this past Monday.
Left-handed hitting outfielders, already had a few hits.
6'7".
Is he a left-handed version of Jordan Walker? Don't know. Let you determine that this weekend by watching him. The other guy, Lane Thomas, has really become a fixture for them. Was injured and off to a slow start this year, but Lane, his overall numbers don't wow you, but he's hitting 2 or 3 for them virtually every day. And you and I both liked him as a player, but we got to be honest. He didn't get it done in the chances he had here.
No, and that was during a time too. And I still think we're in that era right now with the Cardinals where they cannot figure out a set outfield.
Right,
and it was Piscotty and it was Grichuk and it was Lane Thomas was in there and Rosarena was in there. And you just go name after name after name, O'Neill, Bader, all these guys that are, hey, okay, he's our starter for the future. The next 5 to 8 years, that's going to be your starter. 2 years later, they're good done with him. And Lane Thomas was in that mix too. I mean, he was Lane Thomas when he was a St. Louis Cardinal. He was, but he was a 4A player.
Well, that's how it felt.
Yeah,
he was killing it at AAA.
Yes,
but just couldn't get traction with the big club.
He goes to Washington.
They gave him an opportunity
maybe
to
less
go out there
pressure.
and play.
I mean, he hasn't been on a winning team since he's been on the Nats, so
Yeah.
maybe less pressure. He just goes out there and mashes, and that's a better fit for him.
Yeah.
Out there. CJ Abrams, another guy that we're going to see.
Very good player.
Yeah, he is. He's one of their top players. When you look at it too, and I know with James Wood being called up, a lot of it was made this week. And remember when we did the show a few weeks ago, we were on Soto watch for the Cardinals,
Right.
being in the mix for that, and the Nationals ended up trading with the Padres. And you look at all the pieces that came back in that deal, and you kind of look at them now because James Wood was part of that deal. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore were the key pieces of that trade. Both now, I mean, Mackenzie Gore's the ace of that staff, and Abrams your everyday shortstop. So you kind of look at it now with Soto, especially with Soto and the Yankees. Nationals won that trade. You look back at it, just 2 years later, you can already say that.
Multiple starting players.
Yeah, and you have two. I think there's two other guys.
Yeah,
you have two other guys in the minors that are very highly touted too.
That's right.
With that, so just something to watch with all these young guys that the Nationals are bringing up. That being said, they still aren't a very good team this year. They are an under 500 club this year. You have Sonny Gray going tonight. The Cardinals should go out there and put it on him tonight. Hopefully Sonny Gray has a nice shutdown game and you get off to a good, especially going up against a pitcher like Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, you like that matchup.
Yeah. Well, maybe not so much with the fact that he's left-handed, but everybody else seems to hit Patrick Corbin, so the Cardinals should too.
Well, he's left-handed. My hope, and I realize hope is not a plan, but my hope is Goldie and Arenado can maybe get well against the guy.
Yeah.
It looks, I don't want to jinx it. It looks like Goldschmidt's figuring it out, though, doesn't it? He's had a really good week. Can he keep it going and then see some power develop?
Yeah. We'll be, you're facing I think 3 lefties this series.
Sure.
I think it is Corbin, Gore, and I think they have one more that you're facing this. So you're facing two or three in this 4-game series. So those righties have to step up. Maybe a few more. Maybe you get 2 Fermin starts in there. We saw what they did the other day with Pages catching, Contreras DHing in the game. I think you are going to see a little bit of that when you're going up against these lefties right now until you get a little healthier and you kind of figure out what that roster is going to look like. I mentioned Sonny Gray on the mound tonight. Today's the 5th, so Sunday is when we find out the All-Star reserves and pitchers. Expect Helsley to be on that list.
Yes.
I don't think Gray's pitched enough. Gray's pitched good. I don't think if you're just naming the top 15 pitchers in the National League that are going to make an All-Star team, I don't think Sonny Gray makes that list.
Probably because if a number of those are relievers, that takes away starter spots.
Yeah.
And he's probably borderline. I would give you that. I think Helsley's in. Do you want to take a position player? If you do, it's Mason Wynn, I think. And I don't know if they'll do that or not because there's so many good shortstops.
There are, and I mean, you look just right now at shortstops in the National League. I mean, you have Mookie Betts, who I believe won the fan vote. Ellie De La Cruz is up there. Trey Turner is up there,
and he's on fire.
Yes, that are in front of Mason Witt, future All-Star. He's playing.
He doesn't. He can play with any of them. It's just that at this moment, he's probably just behind.
There was a week where I thought Nolan Gorman could have been that guy, but it was just a week. And I think Wilson Contreras has been hurt too much to be in the mix for that. So I think it's
absolutely.
You're going to be, you might be going to the All-Star break second in the wild card, 1 All-Star on your team. That's a lot of just pieces that you need to keep performing at an above average level to keep yourself in the mix there.
Look at players from other teams that maybe aren't so great in the All-Star game and start to get your shopping cart out.
Yeah. That's
it's not too, now we're in July. It's not too soon to start thinking, what are the moves going to be? What are we going to make? Need a hitter. I'd like a starter, but I think they need a hitter.
I feel like there's been a few instances when we look at what other teams have that in a lot of cases, when you look at the bad teams and you look at what they have, the guys were former Cardinals. Because Lane Thomas, if you're looking for a right-handed hitting center fielder, Lane Thomas kind of fits that mold. When you're looking for a starter to fill a role in the bullpen, we saw the Rockies. Austin Gomber kind of fits that role. It's a lot of former Cardinals.
I'm going to blow if Joe's brain explodes on camera here, I apologize, but it might happen to you, our viewer listeners as well. What about this name? Odalis Garcia.
something happened to where he lost it this year, right?
So buy low, sell high.
Would you go Garcia or would you go Rosarena?
Garcia for sure.
Which again, former Cardinal
for sure,
Garcia. Throw out there
for sure, Garcia
for that. So yeah, it starts.
He walks in day one, cleanup hitter.
Right? Yeah, that he would be. So
heads exploding. Just saying.
All right, we got to start our shopping list for the
next 3
trade
weeks.
deadline. Yeah, coming up here in 3 weeks, but we'll be with you every weekday until then. Brought to you by our friends at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Rammer, also Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, all over the area. We're talking about St. Louis proper. We're talking about St. Charles. Talking about 2 locations on the east side in Granite and Jerseyville. Talking about 3 locations up in northeast Missouri and Hannibal and New London. And I'm just telling you, folks, wherever you go, each and every one of these Royal Banks branches feels like your hometown bank. Royal Banks, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC, an equal opportunity lender.
One more look. Did not see lineups yet for tonight's game, but you can catch all the action later on this evening. By the way, speaking of Cardinal news, and you brought up Adolis Garcia, the Texas Ranger, they announced a makeup day for Joe Buck and Chip Carey calling a Cardinal game.
That'll be fun for the fans.
It will be on Monday, July 29th, when the Cardinals host the Texas Rangers.
That'll be fun.
That'll be your makeup game for that. Yeah,
that'll be the series where Garcia keeps his luggage in St. Louis.
Okay.
Instead of leaving with the Rangers.
We'll see if that happens. He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. This has been another edition of Daily Cards Live right here on Claims Online.
Munganess St. Louis Acura is making room for the 2025 MDX, so that means great deals for you on the 2024 MDX. We have over 100 2024 MDX models in stock, and you get financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months. Or you can lease a new MDX for just $559 per month for 36 months. Or get the MDX technology model for just $589 per month for 36 months. Munganess St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.